Jail wasn't peaceful, but Stephen had stopped fighting. The food was gray. The cot was hard. His mind was mostly blank. The guards rarely spoke to him. The other inmates left him alone, either out of respect or pity. Then on a Tuesday morning, a guard tapped his shoulder. "You're up. Someone posted your bail." He blinked. "Who?" "Some guy named Rick?" No visitors, no phone calls. But someone had signed the paperwork, left the money, and disappeared. Stephen didn't ask any more questions. He just walked out of the gate, hoodie up, cuffs gone. Freedom tastes different when you're not sure you earned it. Rick was waiting in a rusted-out Nissan Altima with no hubcaps and a cracked windshield. "Get in. Don't talk." Stephen slid into the passenger seat. The air smelled like cigarettes and old leather. Rick handed him a burner phone still in the box. "Your brother says not to call him. Not yet. Says you've caused enough problems already." Stephen didn't respond. "Also," Rick said, turning onto a back road, "no going back to the city. You're off grid now." A long pause. "How much bail was it?" Stephen finally asked. Rick shrugged. "Bitcoin's up. Doesn't matter." That's when Stephen realized his brother hadn't just bailed him out. He'd bought him a second chance. The first time Stephen was caught, it wasn't dramatic. No helicopters, no foot chase. Just a quiet knock on the door of an Omaha squat apartment. A mattress on the floor, the safe pried open and empty, a half-burned hoodie in the sink. A neighbor had reported a strange smell. Inside, Stephen was asleep in the bathtub with the ring cam and a shoebox under his head. When the officer said his name, he sat up slowly and said, "It's about time." They thought the case was over, but it wasn't even halfway. Stephen didn't expect to leave jail. He'd already rehearsed his plea deal in his head, imagined years behind bars, a slow fade into forgottenness. So when a guard tapped his shoulder and said, "You're being released," he thought it was a mistake. "You sure?" he asked. "Rick Foster posted your bail," the guard said. "You're free to go." Outside, the parking lot was half empty. One dented black Nissan waited with the engine idling. A man leaned against the hood. Black hoodie, dark sunglasses, cigarette burning. He flicked the ashes, opened the passenger door, and said, "Get in." No questions. They drove for hours out of the city, past streetlights, past towns with one blinking red light and a single gas station. Rick didn't speak much. He kept one hand on the wheel and one on his phone, checking something Stephen couldn't see. Eventually, they turned down a dirt road marked only by a rusted dead-end sign. At the end was a cabin, more like a hunting shack, buried in trees, roof slouched under leaves and time. Inside, one bed, one stove, no Wi-Fi. Rick tossed him a shrink-wrapped phone. "This is your lifeline. If it rings, don't answer. If you call, make it count." Stephen asked, "How long am I here?" Rick's smile didn't reach his eyes. "Long enough to be forgotten." Rick wasn't really Stephen's brother. The real brother, the one who bailed him out, was a man named Randall Foster. Randall had once been a software engineer, a quiet guy, code-obsessed, allergic to sunlight. Then he started buying crypto in 2016. In 2020, when the world collapsed, his portfolio didn't. No one saw Randall after that. He moved off-grid, deleted his accounts, stopped answering family. But when Stephen went to jail, the crypto wallet pinged active. $3 million moved through a private server. enough to cover bail, and a shadow operation to erase the trail. Randall had paid for Stephen's freedom, not out of love, but because Stephen knew things he wasn't supposed to. 3 nights into cabin life, the phone buzzed. Stephen hadn't turned it on. It buzzed anyway. At 3:09 a.m., the screen glowed with one message. "You made it worse." 10 minutes later, a second. "She's not done with you." No number, no name. But Stephen felt it like a cold breath at the back of his neck. Erica. She had vanished after Omaha. No social media, no police interviews, no new footage. But now she was texting from the dark, and he knew what came next. She wasn't a mastermind. She wasn't innocent either. Erica had been Stephen's ex and Beatrice's best friend. A link between both. A tether he severed too late. When she disappeared, the media ran wild. Some said she ran to Canada. Others swore they saw her in Florida. But no one had proof. Until Stephen stepped outside the cabin one morning and found something tucked under a rock. A photo of himself sleeping, taken from the trees. The back was blank, but he didn't need writing to understand the message. "I'm watching." The internet found him before the law did. A Reddit post, then a TikTok. "This is the ring cam guy," one caption read. "Why's he out of jail, and where'd he find Newell?" His arrest photo resurfaced. So did Beatrice's front door footage. People tracked the VIN of his stolen car. Found the Airbnb Rick had used 2 years prior to scout safe houses. Soon the cabin was trending, not by address, but by vibe. Guy who stole from his ex is hiding in South Dakota with Bitcoin blood money. You can't make this up. The FBI was watching. So was Erica. So was everyone. He didn't pack. He just left. Took the burner phone, the cash, and the keys. Stole a license plate in Nyland. Bought sunglasses from a gas station vending machine. Drove south with no map, no playlist, just silence. 4 states later, he passed a sign. "Welcome to Roswell." The motel was beige. The woman at the desk asked for his name. He said, "Samuel Kale." Paid cash. No luggage. No smile. Room 9. No windows. One flickering lamp. Stephen stayed 3 days. Ate trail mix. Watched the walls. On the 4th day, someone knocked. Not the police, just one knock. Then silence. He didn't open it. But when he checked under the door, there was another photo. It was Erica again, standing outside the shack in Omaha, smiling. A date was written on the back. Tomorrow. The feds didn't need to search. Someone called it in. A clerk said the guest gave her the creeps. They found Stephen sitting on the edge of the bed, holding a half-written letter addressed to B. He didn't run, just said, "Tell my brother I was never supposed to make it this far." In the motel trash, they found a burned notebook. On one unburned page, just a single word, repeated down the line. Erica, Erica, Erica. Back in custody, this time no bail. His brother's wallets are frozen. Rick has vanished. The cabin's been cleared. Beatrice has moved 3 states away. And Erica, well, no one knows where she is. But she's not forgotten. Stephen is being held in a federal facility. He hasn't spoken since the arrest, except once. When asked why Roswell, he said, "Because that's where things go to disappear." This story started with a safe, then a lie, then a runaway. But in the end, it was always about something deeper. Trust, secrets, The weight of people watching. Stephen may be behind bars, but the story isn't done, and neither is Erica. Crime Stories for Sleep. Episode 3, The Bail, the Bitcoin, and the Blowback. New fictional crime stories every few weeks. Compilations monthly. Justice, eventually.